Continuing on with this Russian Cuckoo clock. Remember I said we had to do some bellow repair. Okay, now I want to stress, this is only to show you what I do to fix the bellows. What you do is totally up to you. I use Tyvex paper. It's cheap and it lasts a long time. Before you can put bellows on, you have to clean up the flutes and using a knife, I'll clean off all the wood Now you want to make sure it's nice and clean, or your glue's not going to stick. The older clocks use some kind of animal skin or leather, and if you want to keep it original, you can order some leather. What you do to your clock is totally up to you as far as the material that you want to use. If you were to order leather, it's going to cost you around $20 or more to fix one clock. I order my Tyvex paper through eBay, and for $24 I get enough material to where I can repair 40 bellows. Again, what I do is just a guideline to show you what you can do. Whether you're using leather or Tyvex, it all works the same as far as the way to put the stuff onto the bellows. You have to do the same preparation. This piece of wood right here has to be positioned just properly. Now I'm going to blow into this hole to make sure it blows properly. And if you watch my other videos, you have a screw hole. In this case, you got 2 screw holes. The more holes you make in this chute, the different sounds you're going to get. Now I'm going to cover up these holes, and then I'm going to blow into the bellow, and then I'm going to lift my fingers and you can see that it changes the tune. So the more holes that you put in this, the different tunes that you're going to get. So use the same holes. If the holes are too big, you might want to put some wood filler in, or you can use like matchsticks or toothpicks to put in these holes, and so you can put your screws in so your screws tighten up. Or you put a wood filler in and let it dry, and then start a new hole. The way this works, there's a plug in the end. This is all hollow inside here, and there's a plug in the end of somewhere along this chute. There's a plug, and that will give you the different notes on a cuckoo quail clock. The quail bellow is only about this big, and that gives you the higher pitch noise for the quail. And so and then you have your two bellows for the high note and the low note lift lever, and the plug is in different positions for the high note versus the low note lift lever. So that's the way it works. And you got this angled part right here that attaches down here, so when your bellow opens, it was able to close. So you know that the angled part doesn't go down here. The angled part goes toward the opening of the chute. So I have to clean up this bellow, top of the bellow next. And you don't want to cut yourself. I'm using a utility knife. You want to make sure you're paying attention. That way you don't cut yourself. In some cases, I've had to take my Dremel to get some of the material off. In most cases, I can just use a utility knife to clean it up. Now, before you can go any further, you have to put what's called a hinge. The hinge is like a door hinge. It allows the top section to be connected to the bottom section. And I want to mention, when you blow into this hole, if you don't hear any noise, it's because this piece of wood is in the wrong position. Luckily, I'm fine on this bellow. But if you blew into this noise, into this hole, and you didn't hear any noise coming out, you might have to reposition this wood, or your bellow is full of some kind of nest, dirt daubers, whatever, could be causing it not to have any noise come out. Or along here, where it's connected, where it's glued together, it has came apart. So before you go removing this wood, make sure that it is, the other pieces of wood is all connected and glued down. But more than likely, this piece of wood here has been repositioned, and it can be repositioned just slightly and not cause any noise to come out. Because I don't know if you could see it, but there's a little opening right here where I'm pointing with my pair of tweezers. There's a little opening right here. I don't know if you've done this as a child, but you could take a piece of grass and put it in between your thumbs and then blow in between your thumbs, and you can get the music note to play. It's the same principle. This piece of wood has got just a small opening right here to allow the music to play. So if this piece of wood got repositioned to where there's too big of an opening or not enough opening, then when you blow into this hole, you're not going to get any music to come out. So now I need to make a door hinge. Always keep my spare material, my cutoffs, laying around just for this purpose. Mark where I need to cut it off. Test it, make sure it's long enough. And then I'm going to cut this in half so I could use the hinge on the other bellow also. So when I put this together, it's going to go like that. I need to get that thing out of my way. I use super glue. Some people use contact cement. To me, super glue works the best. Just apply some super glue here on this part of the bellow. The reason why I use super glue is because it's fast. Contact cement to me is not quick enough. Rubbing it down with my thumb, or you can use a screwdriver or something flat. Get this part on the bellow first. Now with this clock that I'm working on, this Russian clock, I didn't have to remove any of the wires, but sometimes you might have to remove the bellow lift wires or the cuckoo bird lift wire out of the way, but you want to mark it where it goes, that way you can put it back. And if you get the wires out of the way, it makes putting these bellows together that much simpler. Now I'm putting some glue on this side of the hinge. Making sure that the bellow is flat right here. Go ahead and putting my hinge on. Okay, so now I can proceed with the next step. The bellow material that I buy comes in this width. I cut it in half down the middle, and it suffices enough for me to use it on one sheet on two different bellows. What I'm going to do, I'm going to wrap this around this bellow, wrap this around the bellow. Now these bellows are long enough that I don't have to cut any excess off. And so I want to mark where I'm going to put the bellow down. And so what I'm going to work on first is the bottom part of the chute. Putting some glue down. Lining it up with my line that I marked. And rubbing it down with my fingers. I am going to bend this wire out of the way just enough so I can line up this bellow. So I can mark where I want to put this bellow. And now I'm going to put some glue on the top portion of the chute. Line my bellow up with that mark and then rub it down. Now this bellow repair is going to be simple because I have plenty of room to work. The next step is to once that glue is dry, hold the chutes apart and I'm going to go ahead and glue this side first. Putting some glue down on both the top and the bottom of the chute. Holding the chute apart, pull the bellow down, and then rubbing it down to the wood to make sure it's nice and sealed. Doing the same thing to the other side. Holding the chute apart, pulling on the bellow material, rubbing it onto the piece of wood. So now what we want to do is to close the bellow. So you want to push in on both sides and close the bellow. It's already making noise. And now I want to cut off the excess material. So to make it look pretty, you can just cut along the wood. When you get to the end, because it's Tyvex paper, it's a cloth material, it's kind of hard to cut. And that's why I like putting it on top of a piece of wood and pressing down. Now I can put some glue on this part of the hinge. And tying it all together. Now I have to do the same thing to this part. If you don't care about how pretty it looks, you can run your knife along this edge right here. And you get yourself a nice straight edge. As long as it functions, to me, that's the most important part. As long as it does what it's intended to do. Go ahead and put in some super glue on this part of the hinge and putting it over. Now I just have to straighten this wire out. That's where the bellow lift wire was. And you have one finished bellow. Now in some of the bellows, the newer material, you want to close them and put a rubber band around this and let it sit for a couple hours, and that way it will drop easily. Now I have one more bellow to repair, and we're getting closer and closer to having this Russian Cuckoo clock finished. I hope this helps. God bless. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And again, this is the way I repair the bellows. What material you use, whether you use Tyvex paper, whether you use leather, whether you used the post office material, Tyvex coveralls, or rice paper, is totally up to you on what material you use. But the methods that I showed you works the same.